Hello. If neither of us had been a piece of shit, this time we were definitely introed with some music. So hi everybody, I'm Mac.
And I'm Chance.
And welcome to the Fiction Friends podcast. We are a pretty awesome podcast. Pretty awesome two guys. We're two friends. Not to go jacking on insert name of podcast here. Where two friends sit down at a table and do a thing, but that's exactly what we're doing. And we choose to read either short pieces of fiction from the internet, the public domain, or even our own minds.
So today, I believe we had decided from last week.
We were gonna have brain children. We were going to birth words onto a page, and then baby bird them into the ears of our listeners, much like a country girl might do to skull in your mouth one day.
So the prompts that we had from last week were vampires.
An excellent prompt, an excellent, well thought out, a good prompt for writing a fantasy story, a sci-fi story. You know, vampires, classic, historically, something that stories are written about.
Terrifying as fuck.
Yeah, very spooky. Dracula's, you know.
Nosferatu's.
Yeah, can't trust them. Can't trust all those Edwards.
Spider-Man villain Man-Bat.
Yes, Batman villain Man-Bat.
Was it a Batman villain?
I think probably there has been a Man-Bat in multiple universes.
I mean, Blade
There's
is
probably
from
a Dark
the
Horse
Marvel
Man-Bat.
universe.
Yeah,
So
really?
Yeah, Blade's Marvel.
I didn't. You know what? I totally knew that because the little Marvel thing plays like at the start of the fucking Blade. It's been so long since I watched Blade.
It was the first rated R Marvel movie.
We're kind of devolving into we're devolving into this. But the point was, you chose a good prompt.
Yeah, vampires.
You chose a good prompt. That was a good prompt. That was vampires. I chose a very bad one.
There's no such.
I
thing
may
as
have
a bad
looked
prompt.
I may have looked around the room and just said a thing that I saw, and I said paintbrushes. So our story.
Oh, plural.
Well, paintbrush. You know, I'll let you be loose with it. If you only got one paintbrush in your whole story. I don't know that I actually ever even mention a paintbrush in the story, now that I think about it, but there is certainly a painter in my story.
I mean, he can be a finger painter.
Yeah, aren't we all just finger painters, just going through life? You know,
Yeah.
finger painting on things.
Finger painting money into other people's pockets because, you know, capitalism.
You ever given a lady the Simba?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Alright, I'm glad that you just know what it is. We'll probably just let our listeners infer what giving a lady the Simba is, hence we're talking about finger painting. But, you paint with your or your thumb.
Yeah. You know what? Like I said, they can Google it. We'll add links in the bottom so you guys can find it.
Links down in the description down below. I don't know that we said last time, but that is something that we may do. Is if we have an online resource for a story, we may link to a text.
Oh, no, absolutely we will.
Yeah,
give credit where credit's due.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you know, there's obviously a lot of verbal credit given to, you know, author or location of the story that we talk about, but we're gonna do our best to link to the stories if we can. And the stories that we write, we might put up a text document of them, but I know the way I write my stories, it's really meant to be read out loud. So I don't know that anyone would really want to read it, but if they did, maybe we'll do something like that. Exclusive Patreon content.
Hey, we could have a like, we'll ever be good enough for Patreon?
You know what? There are shitlords out there with
Calm down.
Oh my goodness, they make so much money, dude. That's kind of obscene, isn't it?
Yeah, but honestly, like all the credit where credit's due.
Oh,
They straight up
they
say,
are
"Hey, you are the ones who
comedians,
give
yeah.
us the money. It is not us making money off you."
I hope we can get sponsored by Blue Chew. I want my dick to get hard real fast.
Oh god. Yeah,
you know, but we could get our dicks hard reading some stories. Clack song.
That was the best smash cut segue of all time. But anyway, Mac, who would you like to go first? Would you like to flip on it?
I've been so excited to read my story, dude. Like, may I please?
Absolutely, you can.
So, the title of my story is Vamp Me Up Inside. Alright. Under the light of the talon moon, the mournful cry of the Dick Wolf broke the silence of the cool Cocktober night in the dark kingdom of Wiener, Stansylvania. See, now I want to clarify.
You really making some dicks hard.
So, I really want to clarify that Wiener, Stansylvania is just a dark kingdom in my greater land, okay? Like, this is... There is a universe here that I am building.
Oh, I believe you.
Yeah. That Dick Wolf immediately had its throat ripped out by a black blur of cloth and teeth. And yeah, a Dick Wolf's throat looks like a scrote. So, yeah. Gross. The form hunched over its fresh kill, stuffing its toothy maw, with sick testicle flesh. I want to suck your nuts.
Oh.
Gasped the Dracula through mouthfuls of ball meat.
Sacula.
Count Sacula. I wish I was that clever. Oh god, I want to die.
Fix it in post.
I want to suck your nuts. Gasped the Dracula through mouthfuls of ball meat. This was your standard Wiener Stansylvanian Dracula. Basically, hot as fuck. But all gaunt and shit.
So like that skinny hot?
Yeah. Like, you see more ribs than you want to, but god, he's just so fucking hot. Like, he's... Oh, man. I'm thinking like Bela Lugosi, but like tall and lean.
Oh,
and
I'm thinking
much
like...
lighter.
Oh shit, I don't remember the name. Dark Knight Batman?
Christian
Bale. Christian Bale and the
ooh.
Mechanist.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh.
Looks like a crackhead.
Or the fucking the Joker. I don't know the name of the actor who plays the Joker, but God, he's got some rib cage on him. I want to play the fucking xylophone on that bad boy. What is the tool that you play a xylophone with called? Is it called a hammer or is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
a mallet.
A mallet, yeah. Oh man, I use my fucking mallet on his xylophone. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. Please.
All gaunt and shit. Dressed in the kinkiest leathers you ever did see. His platinum blonde hair was slicked back against his skull with steaming blood and gullet glands glue. Yeah, I told you I had some alliteration in this story.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. So for people who want to know what literary devices are, alliteration, when you use a bunch of words in a row that start with the same letter, it makes you good at writing. His trembling hand wipes the hot and fresh fancy sauce from his lips and chin.
Oh.
You like that? You like that hot and fresh fancy sauce?
It made me fancy.
How many words for cum do you think I have in this story?
At least 40.
Sevens. Literally tens. He wiped the hot and fresh fancy sauce from his lips and chin. Blah, blah, blah. My thirst is quenched. Now I must let the winds of Wiener, Stansylvania warp me to the castle. He incoherently half moaned into the night.
Moaned.
Yeah, he's just like, he's feeling him. Like, he just stuffed his mouth with ball meat. Now he's just like rubbing blood and cum all over himself, just like blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is a Dracula, man. He's in it. He then arched his back and thrust his pelvis forward with such force that his leather pants became assless chaps that exposed so much of his DD, Dracula donger, that it make you DD, Dracula daddy say, "Boys, I'm gonna go get some smokes," and by smokes, I mean some hot donger in my mouth, and I'm not coming home after. I wouldn't want to give you that impression, because I need to live my best free gay life now. Boys.
Yeah.
I was channeling Josh really hard in that. Like, when I wrote that part of the story.
I felt it.
Yeah. Oh man. Rest in peace, fantasy fiction.
Insert podcast name here.
Insert podcast name here. And with that, he once again became one with the night. Or whatever. Pouring himself through shadows. creeping through bedrooms, crawling up curtains, crawling up a kilt to take a peek at a peen, and finally into a dank-ass vampire.
A vampire?
A twisted tower rising from the ruins of a dilapidated castle.
Nice.
Yeah, you gotta have that vampire. If everything in your life isn't themed to like what you are, like you're doing it wrong. So if you're a vampire, I'd want to theme everything, you know?
Well, yeah, why not?
These are my Dracula pants. What makes them different than regular pants? I don't know. I'm a fucking Dracula.
His own version of sacks that have 2 little holes of them.
Yeah,
Call them Drax.
Little blood pouches that he can just like squirt blood into his mouth from, like a beer hat.
Yeah.
But you just fill it with IV drips.
What would you call it?
I would call it the insert name of invention here.
IV drips?
I would just call it IV drips on a hat. It's the Vam beer hat. Vam beer hat. Fuck me. The Vampire, a twisted tower rising from the ruins of a dilapidated castle. As the Dracula shadow makes its way hastily up the wall, we hear a mellifluous, edgy tone drifting from the highest window of the spire. There's like a little bit of gentle piano here, and then how can you see into my ass like open doors, leading you down onto my floor, where I've become so dumb without a hole. My dick is sleeping somewhere cold until you find it there and lead it back home. Vamp me up inside. There we go. Unholy fuck, son. What the dick are you listening to? Groaned the recently cajone gorged Dracula.
Oh.
Yeah, he just flew his way into the top of the tower there. Before that excellent song just played. Oh my dark gods, Wienermere. This is Draculescence. Just because you don't like them doesn't mean you have to get all up in my personal space. Snapped back a much younger looking Dracula, perched on the lid of a coffin in the dimly lit room. So, yeah, I can't remember the name you suggested, but the Dracula that we've been following so far is Wienermere. It's better than, like, Dicula or whatever, like, I don't know. I thought I might catch people off with that one. Although I did use Wiener in Wiener, Stansylvania already, but, like, you know, let me throw multiple wieners out here. So the new Dracula was perched on the lid of a coffin in the dimly lit room. His sparkly skin matched his white sequenced Fabio shirt and pants that were equally assless as his father's.
If not more?
If not more. They were equally assless. Although I do picture this new Dracula as a little bit thicker. You know, Wienermere is real gaunt.
Yeah.
He's like a stick man. But, you know, bones. Whoa, okay, Drag. Don't bite my fucking head off. If you want some blood or come, it'll be in the fridge, replied Wienermere as he became a black cum puddle and drizzled under the door.
Ugh.
The Twilight pretty boy sighed really hard. Sighed really hard. Like,
that was a hard sigh.
I totally didn't ask to be made into this undead, sexy-ass form and be adopted by a weird, old, cum-drinking Dracula, Drag said aloud to presumably the audience. He was right, too. Both that nobody asked to be born and should be allowed to die, and that he was hella sexy. taking some hard stances. You should be allowed to kill yourself. Anyways, and that he was hella sexy. The kind of sexy you might see maybe once or twice in a lifetime. And that, like every hot male movie star, mixed all their jizz in a dish, and that got splashed into a sexy ass womb to make him. Just a real sexy womb. He glides gracefully. This is probably one of the worst things I've ever said in my life. He glides gracefully to his open window and slams it shut, causing his shoulder-length curls to bounce for like a full minute. Like he's in a GD shampoo commercial. Come on, dude. That's fucked. Like, what you do to get your hair that bouncy? It's just unnecessary.
Maybe
a full minute. Just putting butter in his hair. Oh, wait, no, that's...
Maybe it's base oil. Maybe it's margarine.
Maybe it's margarine. I can't believe it's not butter. I think I knew a dude in high school that if he did not put butter in his hair as like an oil, as like a hair oil, he definitely talked about it. I feel like we convinced him to put butter in his hair. It was so long ago.
I mean, hey, no harm, no foul. Unless you got like a weird, massive forehead zit.
Every school had that one kid who put butter in his hair.
Yeah.
Or like wrote in shit on the walls of the bathroom.
Or the fucking snorted oatmeal.
I snorted Fun Dip.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't me.
Definitely wasn't. You weren't trying to make fucking like oat bullets in your sinuses.
Yeah, I was trying to make fucking artillery loogies.
That's pretty deadly. That's pretty deadly, dude. I think I just heard somebody come outside. It was just like out in the night. Good on you, whoever you are. I hope nobody's fucking hookers in the alley. Like a GD shampoo commercial. Come on, dude. That's fucked. There must be more to this unending existence than feeding on the best tasting human fluids and banging hot bitches all the time. Now I need to clarify. When he says bitches, he's showing an equal amount of disrespect to all the women and men he's fucked in the ass. Anal only, baby, baby! Anyways, and yes, I wrote both of those into the story. Just as he was continuing to lament his woes to himself? The audience? Who knows? A stiff breeze blew his window back open and smacked his bare ass. Ah! My bare ass! He said aloud, really stepping on the narrator's toes. Yeah, what the fuck, dude? As he turned once again to see the window, this time something caught the young vamp's eye. A paintbrush lodged in between the window and the frame. What's this? He questioned, picking up the brush after clearly ignoring the narrator already saying what it was. Well, that's just a happy little steak, friend, calmly spoke a voice from behind the Dracula. Standing boldly in the way of the single door was a man in full denim armor.
Oh no!
Holding an almighty Oh, are you okay?
I'm good,
You got a little bit of lung aids, sir? Standing boldly in the way of the single door was a man in full denim armor, holding an almighty palette and brush. He had an alchemically silvered perm, and his jarmer. That's Gene Armor, in case you didn't know. Well, obviously, was covered in black spatter. Already took care of your little friend downstairs. Since everybody needs a friend, I think I'll send you to him. With that, he let loose a volley of sharpened brushes that, for a moment, seemed to strike the young Dracula. But in that moment, he vanished in a cloud of glitter and cum smell. Will you come on? It's like real, not like the smell of cum like directly under your nose, but just like a room that's been jizzed in a lot.
Yeah. Also, you're just like gluing glitter to shit.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's sticky like cummy glitter.
Oh, yeah.
It's silver glitter too. So it's like pearlescent. Yeah, it's that real fine glitter, like glitter.
That's
powder.
the glitter that like when you walk outside, people are like, oh yeah, you got came on by a Dracula.
Yeah, you got came on by a Dracula, or you just like walked through a strip club. Yeah, it's just in the air in some of those places. That's that's how they get you. That's how they get you at those places. Because if your wife divorces you, you'll want to spend more time at the strip club. Anyways. Or did you actually have something you wanted to say?
No.
Anyways. He vanished in a cloud of glitter and cum smell. Well, you come on back anytime now, you hear? Never quite satisfied unless I can beat the devil out of here. I've been Rob Boss, and this was the joy of killing.
Oh.
But Drag didn't hear this disturbing outro. By that time, he was a cummy scent on the wind, making every man for miles question if it was somehow them who smelled like cum, even though they were sure they weren't wearing anything that was even slightly cummy.
They're fucking jam.
Yeah, but like sometimes you just like you get a little bit of smell and you're just like, no, that isn't me, is it? No, like that's the first thing. It's the first thing. I always like if I smell it out in the wild, I'm just like no.
Couldn't be me. Look around, only one on the street. No.
I also get that with that what did you call it? That celestial cabbage or whatever.
Oh, a cosmic
cabbage. You know, I smell a little bit of that when I'm out for a walk. It's
celestial spinach.
Sometimes I'm just like, ooh, is that in my? Do I have something in my jacket somewhere? What's going on? A little bit of that legal marijuana.
Good.
A little bit of that bois. Oh man. Even though they weren't wearing anything that was even slightly cummy. Regardless of that, Drog rematerialized on the bank of a not-so-nearby stream, huffing and puffing, as though he had just ran a double decathlon. Bet you thought I was done with the cock jokes. You were wrong, pussy boy. This is what you get for being cocky.
Oh, shit.
I'll go now. Tears were streaming down Drag's beautiful high cheekbones. No way Weederbeer was slayed by that soothing ass Soothe Slayer. I really wanted to say Soothe Slayer.
I love it.
That's like a highlight for me. Which clearly seemed to be the case. I swear, as long as I walk this earth, you won't be safe, Rob Boss. I'll drink every ounce of fluids in your body, cried Drag into the night, clearly demonstrating his understanding of what units of measurement are best for liquids, but completely ignoring the metric standard of liters or cc's.
Just so fun.
Like, he knew that, you know, because he shouldn't just say every ounce of blood in his body. Like, he should have said fluid ounces. You know, good on him for that, but like, I don't know, liters. I'll drink every liter of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, Drag. I mean, you know,
it's fantasy.
Maybe they just don't have the metric system in this fantasy world. I feel like places that don't use the metric system are kind of fantasy worlds.
By that you mean you're scared because any son of a bitch can fireball you?
Yeah. Anybody could just like pop out their magic Glock or like, this is my automatic wand, my AR wand, and just start popping magic missiles like.
Or AR-15 and the one is a wand.
AR stands for Arcane Rifle.
Arcane 15.
Anyways, as he wept for the loss of his father, Drog tore at his garments. Because that's what people did back then when they were upset. You ever read like a Shakespeare? People are just tearing, or like the Bible even, people are just tearing at their clothes.
Hey, they're just...
Yeah. When I get sad, I want to just get naked, you know? Like, that's what people did back then when they were upset. So now his sexy clothes and bod were kind of double sexy from being all shredded and disheveled. It's like they weren't ripped right off. They were just like ripped up, you know? It's like in a fighting game when you get combat damage.
Yeah, and it's like...
Yeah.
Like rip a little bit.
And it's just like you're fighting Ivy and Soul Calibur, and it's just like you're already only wearing a bikini. How am I gonna? Oh, that's like half her under boob. Where's her nip at?
Oh, gotta destroy her shoulder armor and boobs.
There you go. Damn. Wait. Damn, boy. You looking like a tall glass of sparkling water that I want a drink of, said an old woman walking by the stream. Drag immediately was shaken from his sadness so he could lock eyes with the woman and vomit in his mouth. Not a little bit either. We're talking full chipmunk load of puke. Then he swallowed it and said, "If I ever let a shriveled bag of wrinkled meat like you take a drink of this," he gestures from abs to dick, "I will invent a gun just so I can kill myself as loudly as possible." "You can kill me as loudly as possible anytime you like, handsome," replied the woman, who must have been like a triple grandma.
A triple grandma.
Triple grandma. Drag double puked, snapped the old lady in half. Snapped the old lady in half quietly, then vanished into the night.
Just, oh god.
He double puked, which was puking in his mouth
And Otis.
swallowing it, and then puking fully, finally. So, like, full chipmunk pukes, like, once again. Yeah, he just walked over to her, quietly, just yes, snapped the old lady in half quietly, then vanished into the night, to hunt, and to be hunted evermore. To be continued.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, my first story, going for it to be continued, but I really wanna, I think maybe I'll come back with a story focused on, from Rob Boss's point of view. Maybe going on the hunt for that dang drag.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. So
I really enjoyed the story. You were not wrong. The alliterations were plentiful, and as
there was
as
at least one.
there's at least one that really got me. Like, I keeled a bit, and I was like, you know what? That's good. That is pushing the envelope.
Mhm.
On top of that, I loved a couple of things you did. The fucking hair bounce, man.
Yeah.
So prime.
Yeah, did you like Wienermere? I know he's likely dead, as he was seen spattered all over Rob Boss's Jarmer.
He was definitely a great way to open the story, just because it's like, and okay, we're fucking into it.
Yeah.
Fucking balls gone, blood gone. Son, I love you.
That Dick Wolf. I wonder if Dick Wolves are gonna make returns. I might bring the. Was somebody draw fan art of the Dick Wolf?
The Dick Wolf. Isn't it just like a
Well,
werewolf that's hard?
well, its throat looks like a scrote. That's the only thing about it that was actually identified about the way it looks. But you know, people get creative. I kind of pictured it as in like, you know, if its throat is a scrote, then its snout and face might kind of be like a dick a little bit.
Now, are they scrotes, or does it just look like a scrote?
It is a scrote because it was clarified that
There are balls in.
well that Wienermere had a lot of blood and cum all over himself after ripping its throat out. So there must have been some kind of a
Maybe the guy just sucked a dick.
he got the gullet glands glue all over himself. That
yeah.
hot and fresh fancy sauce.
Man, loved it. Amazing story. I'm excited to hear more.
I was so glad to read it out loud. For anybody who's here for legitimate writing tips, I can say, if you're writing something, don't be afraid to just read it out loud to yourself, though, because you'll catch all those parts where it sounds real weird. I use that to catch a lot of my grammar when I'm actually writing something where that matters.
And my writing tip is I don't. Well, it's not that I don't do that.
Yeah.
It's that I didn't this time. So we're going on. We're going on a fucking roller coaster.
You did
boy.
steamroll this story. You wrote the fuck out of this story.
Dude, I have to like keep those chops up.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that the anxiety stays high, so my blood pressure is high, so that my heart won't stop.
Yeah. Constantly keep yourself in a state of excitement.
All right.
I am ready for your story, though.
I didn't actually name it, but I'm just gonna come up with one off the top here. I'm gonna call it the Black Dahlia Acrylic Murders.
The Black Dolly Acrylic Murders.
The Black Dahlia.
Black Dahlia.
Black Dahlia Acrylic.
Dolly Acrylic. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm ready for this tale of murders. Tale of vampires and paintbrushes.
It was a warm autumn night in the realm of Valiun. At the final sun starting to set in the day, the street lamps start their graveyard shifts. In the desert town of Zestrid, at the Stinging Nettle Tavern, where customers here were at an all-time low.
Wait, may I?
You
The
may.
Stinging Nettle Tavern. Is this one of those places where they try and convince you to drink stinging nettle tea, even though it tastes like licking a mossy vagina?
No, they're just kind of like, they're like in a desert, and a cactus is kind of like a stinging nettle.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay. So they're just like, I gotta name it after like something rough.
Yeah.
Little
Also,
friend
we
is
have
like saw
amazing
nettle.
stinging nettle tea if you would like to try some.
Oh, if you would like to, yeah, of course, yeah. You come into the back, and like the owner's never wearing shoes, and all their clothes are homemade, woven their armpit hair into braids.
Where customers here were the roughest and toughest, but tonight they were at an all-time low, with but a small poker game taking place. "I'll murder your parents' ghosts, you son of a bitch!" screamed the elf as he lost another hand. "Good luck doing that, you now no hands having bitch," laughed the orc as he picked up the gold off the table and walked out the door, leaving the elf to bleed to death.
Wait.
Yeah, when he
lost a hand.
Yeah, when he
Wait,
lost
what?
another hand.
Oh, wait. Oh, I see. It's a double entendre.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, these literary devices that we're throwing out here. My goodness. Now, you pulled a little sneaky on me there.
I did. I
Little
just threw a little one in there.
No.
Glinda, the
Really
fairy.
dunked on him. Dunking on amputees.
Oh no, that's like the.
It's pretty easy to dunk on them.
Yeah, well they can't dunk on you.
Yep, spicy.
No, because if they don't get on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
also if they're in a
legs.
wheelchair. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty hard to dunk in a wheelchair unless you got like some springs. Engineers, make a wheelchair that can dunk. I think like insert name of YouTube channel here.
I believe
I think
it's
those
called a
guys.
scissor lift.
Yeah, but like fast and dangerous.
So a scissor lift. Glinda, the fairy bartender, was the only person who had seen this happen, and she sat there in silence. Glinda's fuse had been burning for 15 years, ever since she got stuck running this bar because her shitty parents died as fuck by being crushed by a log.
Wait, so like, is she a little fairy? Like,
Yeah.
like how? She's like 8 inches tall.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
8 to like maybe 10.
Okay. Yeah.
So
all
a
right.
lot
so
to
I
a fairy is
yeah.
like.
Yeah, that's significant. That's like a GD wall falling on you.
Yeah, absolutely it is. But seeing the 5th corpse in 2 days, something in Dahlia just flipped. "I'm fucking done with this bar! This place can lick the longest, stankest taint!" As she stormed into the back and she came darting through the door with a bucket of kerosene. And she just started going apeshit, splashing kerosene on the counter,
Oh man, she's burning
on
the
the
place.
bottles.
She's gonna burn the place.
Yes, sir. She started dousing tables, and as she made her way to the corpse, both doors crashed open and all the lights went out. With a small, definitely ominous thunder crash, as a ghost of the half-elf hovered there in front of her. "Oh, fucking great, now there's ghosts!"
She just can't catch a break.
"Ma'am, please, help my spirit be laid to rest. I need to find the orc that stole my hands, or his parents' ghosts." Now, why would I want to do that? Well, I was hoping that the call to adventure would ignite the fires of a good Samaritan. But I guess if you don't, I will haunt your establishment forever. Dahlia looked at the ghost right in his translucent ass eyeballs, and with a smile said, "Okay," threw him the keys, and emptied the register and just fucking left. You could hear the protests of the ghost, but too fucking late. Dahlia was long gone. All pumped up on that BDE that she just flexed on that ecto cuck from her,
Dude, ghosts are kind of the biggest cucks.
from her old bar. Dahlia fly power walked all the way to the red light district.
So she's following the pattern though, like Rohil Balto.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the Olympic rules for power walking.
But flying.
But flying, you know, I think that's there. I don't think there's a rule that says you can't be flying.
It's true. I think you can't jump, and I think it flies like a long jump.
Well, no. You're just using separate limbs.
She power walked all the way to the red light district to go buck fucking wild. Working her way through the scandalous skeevy cesspool, aka Yo Mama Squish Mitten, to find something to either take the edge off or to add enough edge that even Sonic OCs would cringe.
Ooh! For all the listeners out there, Google, like, your name, the Hedgehog, and have fun with that. You know, there's some hopefully, like, preteen person has probably made some, like, Microsoft Paint art of your name, the Hedgehog. So I like to go in there and check out the different Mac the Hedgehogs sometimes.
She happened upon a particularly shady fellow hanging in an alley. As she approached the figure, more and more mist seemed to line the cobblestone alleys. Excuse me, do you have anything by any chance that have something to make me sharp tonight? I'm looking to get crazy.
I mean, it wouldn't take much. She probably weighs like a pound.
Yeah, if that. As the being turned around, it revealed cold, ice blue stare and an immaculate afro of an elf. Well, hello there, friend. I'm glad that you're joining us this evening. Dolly was perplexed at the statement as she's looking right at him in the eyes and like, what are you talking about? I'm looking to get some... Yes, I would be honored to join you this evening. The two of them slinked down the alley about 10 feet, and the elf knocked on the door super quietly, like a whisper, and waited for what felt like 7 minutes until the door just creaked open. Cut to the bar. A sad sight of an elf ghost slamming back a bottle of booze, and only to have it splash onto the floor and have the elf weep. Cut back. Alright, so
we just had to see him suffer a little more. He fucking had his hands chopped off. Does his ghost have no hands?
No, he has ghost hands.
Okay, I kind of wish like he was still an amputee with no hands while he was a ghost, so he's like just like barely holding this bottle between his ghost stumps.
At first I was wondering if he would like be able to hold like anything to begin with because he's a ghost.
I think it's funnier that he's able to hold the bottle, but he can't drink it.
Yeah, he can hold the bottle but can't hold his liquor.
That's a whole new meaning to can't hold your liquor.
Yeah. Alright, so what I started with today is I've gone over the entire canvas with a thin coat of black gesso, and I've allowed it to dry completely. And then afterwards I've covered the entire canvas in a thin, even coat of liquid clear. As the shot zooms out of the elf's painting, it reveals Dahlia and the orc from earlier, who are all painting alongside in dead silence, with an unblinking stares, each of them using one of the elf's hands to paint the scenery, and 2 neck bites in their neck.
Damn!
And then the screen continues to zoom out of the alley, out enough to see the town, then out of the clouds, where you can only see the blackness of space.
We're really zooming out.
Game over. A camera continues to zoom out, revealing a goblin looking at a tome. Now, what kind of choose-your-own-adventure book is this? I had like 2 options in 40 pages, and now with the parent 20 endings, I got a vampire makes you paint? This book is trash. The end.
Nice. I love that. I love those kinds of endings. That's sweet. So it's like a magic choose-your-own-adventure tome, or... So like when you're reading it, your eyes like roll back, and you're seeing it.
I would just say that reading is magic.
Read it. Yeah, reading. Read a thing.
Or write a thing. Then read it out loud.
Yeah. Read it for your friends. Read it for strangers on the internet. But don't step on our toes, baby. We'll cut you.
Whoa. I will not cut any.
No, I wouldn't do that. Unless you're made out of grass.
Or a zombie.
Yeah, if you're a zombie, I'll probably cut you. I'll cut you. I like that we both had a Bob Ross figure in our stories.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The voice was excellent. I really liked that a lot.
Oh, did you like how that there was 2 people in there because everybody needs a friend?
Yeah, I really liked that they were painting with the elf's hands. I like that the fairy was painting with the elf's hand, despite it that she probably had to like hold the thing. Like, that would be very cumbersome. I loved the voice that you did for the fairy. I'm glad you had some pretty sweet voices in the story. I really liked her, and she was just like, she was a no-nonsense lady. She was pissed off. She was
fucking
going.
snapped, man.
Yeah, man, she went. She, you know, sometimes the grind, it's just too much for a person.
Now, there's one thing that is kind of insinuated in the story, but not really said, and it's ghosts are 100% real.
Oh, yeah,
so where the hell are the ghosts of her parents? Did they just ghost fuck off?
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe you need to have a reason to stick around. Or maybe you only stick around if you want. Maybe they were just like, yeah, fuck her. She's got the bar.
Yeah, we left her with everything. And now she's like, fuck, I'm stuck living here.
Yeah. Oh, man, isn't that the real...
Yeah, it's like, the mortgage is paid on it. So it's like, it's free staying.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, I don't want to rent the basement out. That's where my parents used to live. And now they're dead.
And now I sleep in the basement.
Yeah. Oh, man. So
what did you think of the story?
I loved it. I'm very impressed that you wrote that in such a short amount of time. My goodness. Yeah, there was some clever moments. I had to think, man. He lost his hands. He lost his hands. I thought you were talking about cards.
When I first wrote that sentence, I was like, yeah, they're playing poker. And then I just like the idea as he lost another hand. I'll fucking kill you! And he just yelling at this dude with the stumps.
I'll eat your parents' ghosts.
Yeah, I'll fucking murder your parents' ghosts.
Oh man, that was good. I was expecting somebody to have their teeth eaten in a story. You know, it had been a topic of discussion lately, and those things tend to kind of worm their way into the stories.
Not that we talk about eating teeth outside of this podcast.
No.
We'll just edit it in an earlier episode. Eating teeth.
Eating teeth. Wow. Teeth. Baby bird, some teeth into my mouth.
Ooh.
That's what happens after a boxing match.
Dentists essentially do that.
Yeah, dentists. Yeah, that's basically baby bird. If you get yourself a real good dentist, they'll baby bird the teeth in your mouth.
But I think with that, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the stories. My name is Chance. I'm not Mac.
My name is Mac. I'm not Chance.
And if you enjoyed this story, please give it a like, share it with your friends, follow us on our socials, whether it be on Facebook, whether you want to...
you follow us on Instagram at fiction_friends and on Facebook at fictionfriends.
We do not have Twitter. If it ever becomes a need, we will get it.
Yeah, or maybe like, oh god, I don't want to do a subreddit though. That's like a little deep for me.
No, I would like let them make that, and by them I mean our valued fans.
All of our friends that we're gonna send this to.
So with it,
but I mean, you know what? If this podcast found its way to you, you're one of our friends now, or you're one of our enemies. If you hate us, if that's something that you prefer to have, or maybe we're just neutral. You know, I don't want to force you into a position of being in a relationship with me.
So Mac, as you know, we read a lot of fiction on this show.
We do. We read the fiction.
But one fact that I do know, to the people who are listening, we appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate you. This is the outro episode. It's the song that ends the podcast. It's the outro episode that ends the show. It's the song it's the one that goes at the end.
And you're gonna see some credits. This the entire show was edited and created by
the two of us that are singing the song right now.
The Fiction Friends.